I was really scared of what people would think and what people would say. And like, I also like it excited me to be out of my hometown and be trying something new and getting opportunities that were more exciting than making footlongs. When I was growing up, there were people that inspired me and gave me that motivation. So I just want to like do it for little Zepp. It was like proper viral at the time. Like people come up and like want to take photos all the time. It was a whole thing. I didn't really identify with that so much. I kind of really just wanted to play music.
Listen up. Today I am joined by Zeppelin Hamilton of Velvet Trip. This is a very special episode to me because Zeppelin is one of my closest friends. I love him dearly, and he is someone that I have found through my love of music. I first saw Zeppelin play for Parcels, opening for Parcels back in 2022, and from then on I started backing him on radio. And just through playing him on air, we've become good friends, and I've watched him go from EP to debut album to now his sophomore album, Glimmers Continue, and pick up a legion of fans along the way. If you like Parcels mixed with a bit of Tame Impala, a bit of pop, a little bit warm and fuzzy, you're going to absolutely love Velvet Trip. He has since gone on to open for Joe, to rub shoulders with the elite. He is a man who just picks up the most wild of stories, and you're going to really understand what I mean by that when you listen to this episode. We go from growing up regionally in a housing commission to his almost skate career to being one of the first viral sensations on Facebook. He's done it. So let's get into it. This is Zeppelin Hamilton from Velvet Trip on Listen Up with me, Ash McGregor. Zeppelin, welcome to the podcast.
Ashley McGregor.
Oh, God.
Is your middle name Mary?
No.
Oh, I nearly said Ashley Mary McGregor.
You do know this.
Your middle name?
Surely. It's one syllable.
Alice? Oh.
And it starts with an A.
Alice. Ashley Ann.
Perfect.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Zeppelin Flame Hamilton.
Hello.
The man with the coolest name that I know. Written in the stars that you'd be sitting in this chair.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
It's good. I'm happy to have you here. One, as a friend, but two, as someone that I admire, and also just because I think about you and I go, I know so much about you, but I also know so little about you, and I think we're going to learn a lot in this podcast episode.
Okay.
I mean, you drop hints along the way in our friendship.
Do I?
Yeah, I would say that.
Drop hints. Yeah. I think once I catch a stride, it's hard to stop. So maybe I hold myself back. Oh. Yeah. I'm ready to catch a stride with you today.
Let's catch some strides together. Take me back to Suffolk Park.
Oh, gosh.
This is where you grew up. It's near Byron Bay.
Yeah.
And I know that there's like a big music side of you. There's a big skate side of you in Suffolk Park. But what is it really like? Paint me a picture because I've never actually been.
Suffolk?
Yeah.
Suffolk was pretty rough when I was growing up, to be honest. Like I grew up in, like I was born beachside Suffolk Park in Brandon Street. And then I think we got like kicked out of our family home on Christmas and then had to.
By like government?
I don't really know the full story. Yeah. But then we moved to another place in Baywood Chase and I lived there from when I was like 3 or 4. And it was a pretty wild area, like sort of like the housing commission area. There was a lot happening, a lot of fighting and yelling and carrying on. And yeah, it was like pretty rough. People would go out and like go to like Gaggan Park and
Gaggan Park?
Gaggan Park.
That's the name of a park?
That's the name of the park near my place. Yeah. Everyone would like go and, get loose and like light stuff on fire.
Were you one of those?
No, I was too young at that point. Yeah. But I was just like, then they built a skate park around the corner when I was probably like 12. And then that was my place every day, skating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Skating was your escapism?
Skating was everything, actually. From like 12 to 18, I would like skate before school, after school, every day.
Are you amazing at flips and tricks and all that sort of gear?
I wouldn't say there was a point, like I used to compete and stuff.
Wow.
And there was a point where I was
Were you
like,
sponsored?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Zeppelin.
Yeah. But like, skating's changed so much. Like the level is, I think like where I was at the time to like, be sponsored or whatever and not compared to now, like I wouldn't, it's just evolved so much.
Yeah,
like,
but I also you would probably remain as competitive as wherever the world is.
Maybe
you would have pushed yourself harder.
I think so, yeah. I just kind of like, I remember there was a turning point though, because I was like, you know, I'd hitchhike to like Ganella Bar or like all these places and like go and take my skateboard and go with my friends and skate. And like, you know, I started breaking stuff. Like I fell down, I broke my shoulder really badly. And then like I tore my ankle and like, you know, I'd fractured my elbow. Like I'd had so many injuries. And I remember my dad sort of one day being like, hey, like, you know, you probably guitar and skating, they're not really compatible in this way. Like, you know, I feel like if you really want to, you know, play guitar, then you have to be considerate of your hands.
That's very fair.
Kind of always in the back of my mind, but like as a kid, you kind of like, whatever, Dad.
So your dad was a blues player, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he teach you growing up?
Yeah, I think like indirectly. I think it's hard to learn from a parent. Like I feel like I was always kind of like observing him and watching him play. And then by the time I kind of came around to like playing, I'd downloaded so much information from him. Oh, yeah. But like when I was 9 or 10, like my dad would like busk in the street in Byron like my whole life. Like that was kind of his thing. Like him and my mum met when my dad was busking at King's Cross station.
Way. Yeah, Wait, tell me that story.
I think like
That's a cute meet cute.
Yeah, Dad was busking at King's Cross station and they met and then like had this kind of, they ended up kind of traveling around Australia together and like they lived in.
So your mum just goes up to a guy at busking and she's like, you're so cute.
Yeah. And I think like she like offered him a bite of a samosa and Dad was like, I'm vegetarian. And Mum was like, wow. Like
that's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
So this is where I'm going wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You need to approach more buskers, Ash.
Okay.
Yeah.
See me out there this weekend.
Yeah.
Approaching more buskers.
Yeah.
And asking if they want to have a bite of my samosa.
And lead to a lifelong romance. And then I think they traveled around for a bit and then they lived in a tree at the Botanical Gardens for a bit.
Wait. And then pause. They lived in a tree.
Yeah. In the Botanical Gardens for a bit.
Doesn't seem legal.
Well,
what, did they they slept in branches?
You'd have to ask them. I think they had like a hammock.
That's incredible.
So anyway, they they eventually found their way.
Forget about that.
They eventually found their way to Byron and then had myself and my sister. But yeah, growing up, so like dad was playing music everywhere. He'd kind of busk like around Australia and that kind of thing. And then one day he was busking in the street and during Blues Fest, there's this group called the Music Maker Relief Foundation. And they like a kind of like a welfare sort of system for Southern music, like for Southern music and the importance of like preservation of that culture and that music. So the whole thing would like, their whole business structure was like subsidizing these like incredible artists, mostly blues artists that are like historically important cultural figures, and they would support them through making records for them, touring them, management, like all sorts of things.
I'd never heard of this.
Yeah. Founded by Tim Duffy. And they would bring them over to Blues Fest every year, and all these incredible old, blues musicians, Beverly Guitar Watkin, McAvine Haynes, like all, Ironing Board Sam, all these incredible iconic artists. And they were walking through the street one day and my dad was playing guitar and they were like, oh, this guy's like, this guy's a bluesman. These are all like Black American proper blues people, and they ended up coming back to our house. And then they came over like every year from when I was maybe like 9 or 10 years old.
Wow, so you had sitting around your dining room table with some of the best blues musicians.
Yeah, and they would teach me stuff and kind of like learned how to play blues through them and with my dad, and they kind of introduced me to music in that way, and and going forward it kind of stayed ingrained in me for a long time. So Dad did teach me, but I was also like, I guess, had all these incredible blues musicians around that sort of inspired me and passed on a lot of like, I guess, their own experiences in music. So I'm super lucky.
Do you remember getting your first guitar?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was a PV Raptor. It's like this little 3/4 red thing. And I remember like, it couldn't, like, at that time I was like super into metal. So I was like
Okay.
tuning it down. Like I remember like trying to get my dad to teach me a Parkway Drive song, and he was
Dad's like, oh,
yeah, he was like,
I have to.
yeah, come on, yeah. And I was like, and it had to be tuned like, it had to down tune the entire guitar and then drop tune it as well. So it was like super heavy. The guitar was not set up for that, and I used to flog the thing. But I remember like getting Dad to try and teach me like "Romance Is Dead" by Parkway Drive or something like that, and he was just like, can't believe this is.
I can't believe I raised this boy
Yeah,
who wants me to do this.
Yeah.
You've got all this other brilliant music.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Byron Bay, so Parkway Drive, like, grew up on hardcore.
That's
like,
true.
That was my first
I think
introduction.
some people would actually be surprised to find that Byron Bay does have quite a great hardcore sound.
That was it from 13 to 19. It was hardcore. Like going to shows at the Yak, going to shows at my high school, Byron High. Like I saw like, I remember my first, I went to like, they used to do these shows called Hardcore Halloween. So you'd go and get dressed up like Halloween, and then like Parkway Drive would play, or like In Heart's Wake, or like Comeback Kid, or like these huge like international bands. Like I saw a Day to Remember play in my basketball court at high school. Yeah. It was like crazy. It was so sick.
Wow, that was the place to be.
It was iconic.
I actually had no idea this was going on.
Yeah, it was epic. And yeah, I played in hardcore bands as well. And like, that was kind of my first band was a hardcore band. So
were you dressed quite hardcore back then? Did you have a bit more of a, look at you now. And
can you see my snake bite scars? Have you ever seen them before?
Oh, yeah, you do have little snake bites.
Yeah, I got snake bite scars.
Did you ever
and
have
stretches?
eyebrows?
No eyebrows. There was one point where I nearly got a bridge piercing, and my mum's always like, when I was younger, she was always kind of like, do what you want to do. But I remember being like, I want to get my bridge pierced, and that was like the one time she's like, I'm gonna draw the line, and I was like, fair.
Is that right between your eyes?
Yeah. Between the eyes.
Yeah.
More for the scarring than like the actual piercing. She was cool with the piercing, but I think like the aftermath, she was like, later on in life, maybe you might wish that you didn't have.
Do you regret the snake bites or anything, or the stretching?
No, you can't regret anything. It's part of you.
It's all part
of you.
Can't forget where you came from.
I do regret it when I try and wear backless earrings, because now like I've got like the full cat butthole ears. Like nothing, it just falls straight through. I gotta wear hoops. Yeah. What a shame.
Limited. Oh, I think they look gorgeous on
Thanks,
you.
Ash.
So there you go.
Thank you.
Wow, I didn't know that side of you, that you had a whole heavy metal side, to be honest.
Oh yeah, big time. Like I was right in. Yeah, my first band, we were a finalist on Unearth High as a hardcore band, and that was kind of like my first like, oh, like maybe I could do this thing.
That's when you reckon you started to take it seriously.
Yeah, kind of. Like at that time, I was always kind of like throwing projects together and like trying to like bring my friends in and like make a thing. And like, yeah, I started this hardcore band with another friend, Jake, and we'd like booked a session in Sydney, and we were 17, and we all piled into like one car and drove to Sydney. Me, Jake, and my friend Dane, and I played like all the guitars and bass and sung, and Jake was doing like the heavy vocals and Dane did the drums, but like I was kind of like producing it, I guess, and like, yeah, with this other guy, Shane Edwards, at this studio in Sydney. But like I'd never been to Sydney before. It was just like a group of like kids from Suffolk, driving over the harbour bridge, being like, whoa, this is crazy.
This is like a movie moment.
Yeah. Recorded this like, hardcore EP, and then we put it on like Unearth as a whim, and then it kind of like we got picked as, I remember just getting a call and they're like, you're a finalist on Unearth, and like, you might be playing a show with Bliss and SO at your school. And I was like, oh,
we did not sign up for that.
That's a weird lineup, but yeah.
It does not make sense. Did it happen?
Yeah, no, it didn't happen. We didn't win, unfortunately. Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. Wouldn't that be crazy? I feel like that would have then taken you into more of that hardcore world. Or do you think it was always going to be psych-rock for you?
Ash, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, that happened, and then my metal band happened with the Parcels crew. So like it was kind of like, it was like a trajectory of like that into. It's all kind of like step by step.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about your metal band with the Parcels crew.
Okay. Prowler, the band name was.
Rawr.
Yeah. The name probably hasn't aged well, but I think it was a song off a Pantera record or something like that. I can't remember. But like Jules from Parcels, Emma, the friend Garunga, Byron. Your reactions are getting less and less.
I'm not giving reactions.
You're less and less reactive. My friend Garunga Sanjaya. And
hey, I've never met Garunga. I can't make any assumptions.
my friend Garunga Sanjaya and Jules, they had like a metal band. They'd like been jamming and stuff like that. I think Jules was like playing guitar at his house, and this guy Dion lived across the road, and he was like 40, and he heard Jules, or maybe, Dion, maybe 37 at the time. And he heard Jules, no shade, heard some metal coming from upstairs, and he just like walked across the road, went up the house and brought his drum kit in and started playing. It was Julesy, playing guitar. Anyway, they eventually, like Jules and I had a bit of a rivalry in school. Like he came to Byron High for a short period, and him and I actually had a bit of beef.
No way.
Yeah.
That's funny because you guys are lifelong friends.
He's my best friend.
You're best friends today. Loki, no, you don't live together.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you've come and gone with living together.
Come and gone living together.
That would be funny
Spiritually, always together.
Oh, twin flames.
Yes.
It would be funny looking back on that now and be like, remember when we used to like have a rivalry?
I think it was because we were both we both played blues. We both played metal, and we both were like pretty like dedicated to our thing. And I think when we met, it was a bit of a rivalry. Didn't know how to, But anyway,
there can only be room for one of us.
There's only
in this town.
Only room for one of us in this small Suffolk Park town. And then Jules kind of like eventually was like, "Hey, do you want to play bass in this band? We've got starting this metal band, and we're doing all these rehearsals and stuff." And yeah, I ended up like joining the band, and then we recorded some music and did a bunch of like shows around Byron, and then we booked a tour and came to Sydney, and like I met a photographer at a show, and she took a photo of me, and then we were sort of seeing each other, well, dating for a while. And at the time I was like working at Subway still. So I was like hitchhiking from Suffolk to Ballina to work at Subway.
So you hitchhiked to go to work?
Yeah, every day.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I was playing.
What if you weren't going to get picked up?
No, I always get picked up.
Okay.
Yeah. Leave at 9 a.m. Give yourself a little buffer period. Go and work from maybe midday to 9, sometimes 6, then hitch home. You'd always get picked up by the same people as well. Like someone would see you there and they'd pick you up.
So you were known in the area?
I mean, people have like the same routine. So that's like true. They'd pick you up. One guy would get in the car and like he'd play like whale music for me, and we'd just sit there and listen to the sounds of whales together.
How formative.
It was very beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Very Byron.
I wonder what he's up to now.
Probably still listening to that.
That's good.
That whale stuff, that
Never
new
gets
whale
old.
drop. Well, anyway, I was working at Subway, went on tour to Sydney, and then met a photographer. She took a photo of me.
Yeah.
And then that ended up like getting into the hands of a casting agent. And then they were like, "Hey, you should come down and audition for this show and like try like modeling and all that stuff."
How'd that feel?
Oh, I hated it.
Were you one of those people that people were saying, "Oh, you've got the thing, kid. You should calm down." Were you people believe in me, or were you skeptic?
No, I was like, I guess pretty bullied.
Yeah, right.
Pretty bullied in school, I'd say. Like in the early years, at the end of high school, it's a bit different. But like Byron was just very like, I don't know, very tall poppy. Everyone keeping each other in check, and like I really, so the idea of like being in front of a camera and doing that kind of thing was like pretty terrifying to me.
Yeah, super vulnerable.
I was really scared of what people would think and what people would say, and like I also like it excited me to like be out of my hometown and be trying something new and getting like opportunities that were like, a bit more kind of that felt like more exciting than making footlongs. So like
you don't say.
Yeah, hey, no disrespect though. Like that was a great time, and shout out to Subway and my boss Shelley. I think like it just sort of felt like something different, and then I ended up like landing a job on a TV show down here, and then
was that Mold?
No, it was Cleverman.
Cleverman?
Yeah.
I'm not across Cleverman.
You're not across Cleverman?
I'm not.
Oh, girl.
Was this an iconic show?
Yeah, it's so iconic. It was.
Can you explain it to me?
It was a Indigenous science fiction yeah, it was like this incredible story of like the hairy men, like hairy people. I was a hairy man, and like the regular humans, and the hairy people were isolated and kept in these little like confined areas called the zones, and the humans were kind of outside of that, and we were getting our like DNA extracted to make some cure for. Anyway, it's a whole thing. Yeah, but it was like I can't remember the exact percent, but like it was majority Indigenous cast.
That's
like
amazing.
mostly Indigenous crew.
Wow.
Like Deborah
What was it
Mailman. It was on ABC and a few other things.
There you go.
But yeah, directed by Wayne Blair. Deborah Mailman was on it. Leah Purcell directed it.
Yeah.
Hunter Page on it. Like so many incredible Radawoy, like heaps of iconic.
Were you at that
Indigenous
point
actors.
going, maybe I could do acting instead?
I was just kind of like fumbling my way through things, I think. I was
This
kind
is
of
the
just,
thing about you is that you just attract the randomest of experiences that people go, what the hell? Like there are people who are probably, you know, dedicating their life to these to find these moments, and they just find you.
I don't know what that is. I think I just say yes to stuff and just see where it leads. And then like just try and be open to like, you know, people and experiences, and then I'll make like a change and shift and do something else. Adaptable. Yeah. But at that point when I came here, Julesy and the rest of the Parcels crew were moving to Berlin, and I was like, well, I don't know what I want to do. Like, do I want to come to Sydney and like maybe give this acting thing a crack, or do I want to go to Europe and like, you know, hang out with that crew, or I don't know. I was just kind of like, well, I'm kind of like already working on this TV show, and like I'm already like have an agency and stuff here. I was like, whatever. I think this seems like a more tangible thing. So I moved to Sydney, and then
And that's the beginning of this next chapter.
that was the beginning of the next chapter.
That's incredible. So the show was recording in Sydney.
Yeah.
And you had already had this gig lined up.
Yeah. Well, I was like flying back and forth from Byron to Sydney to work on this show. We're filming mostly at Carriage Works.
Yeah, right. And then in Sydney, when did you start picking up music here? Because I know you were in that 7-piece psych-rock band. Was it Kimono Drag Queens?
Kimono Drag Queens. Yeah.
Crazy name.
Did you ever see that band?
Never saw them live.
Oh, did you ever hear about them?
Bits and pieces just through like the Unearthed Pipeline, and I've listened to some of the music as well. Very different to what you make now.
Yeah, I mean that band like was the most incredible experience. Like they're all my best friends, and I love them so much, and I'm so grateful for that whole experience. And we would really just like meet up and play music, and like they kind of just like enlisted me kind of early out the gate. They were already sort of playing music, and then brought me in, and then, you know, it was just like we jam every week. It was really just about like connecting with each other, and it was so much fun. And then we finally recorded our first album and only album, and we sold out of like all the vinyls in like 48 hours or something crazy, and then sold out Oxford Art Factory, and then just never played again.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we just like broke up.
Why?
I don't know. It was just like we peaked.
You sold out. You sold out of vinyls, and you sold out a venue.
Yeah, we sold out.
That's enough.
Like heaps of vinyls. We thought, I think at the time as well, it was like we were like realized because we didn't like register anything like through ARIA or whatever, and we were like realized like, oh, I think we would have like probably like got like number one.
You reckon?
Yeah, like it was like we sold out like a lot of stuff.
Was it big throughout all of Australia, or was this quite a localized love?
It was in Europe. Like we like sold heaps of stuff in Europe, and then like I guess locally as well. I don't know. It was a weird thing. Like Kimono was, I think we all just like had our own networks of friends as well. And I don't know, it was just like a really great group of friends and people. Learned so much in that. And that was kind of like my first introduction into like psych-rock, and like, yeah, I was playing like electric mandolin in that band and guitar.
That's incredible.
Well, and like a few other things. And yeah, just kind of like, that was my first like introduction into that sonic palette.
How long was that a part of your life, Kimono Drag Queens?
Like
a couple of years?
Like maybe 5 or 6 years,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, pretty solid stint.
That is a really solid stint to then just randomly break up.
Yeah, I mean, look, life takes everyone in different directions.
Yeah.
And people started having kids, and like people's priorities shift. And
So where did that leave you?
well, I think like when you're playing in a 7-piece, it was quite. I felt like you're always serving the project, and sometimes you're trying to consolidate a lot of ideas into one greater vision, and often you have to compromise on your own ideas. So I started to feel like there was a part of me that needed to see through an entire idea by myself without having to compromise on it. So to kind of get that frustration out, I started writing these kind of like blues songs, and like then I started like taking my guitar to like these random blues nights at like King's Cross and like places like that, and I would like learn a bunch of standards, and I would hop up by myself like and just go and like jump up with this house band, and like I'd do like 3 blues songs or like whatever, and I was just kind of like hopping around trying to find, and I had never really sung publicly properly before, so I was like trying to find my voice and be confident in like singing. And
were you a person that you knew you wanted to be a singer though?
Yeah, I think so. Like I don't know, like I kind of, it was all to me, and like even still, like I feel like singing, like I don't feel like I'm like a singer. It's more like a extra layer to build the world. Like I don't think I'm like this powerhouse singer, and I don't think I ever will be or whatever. Like I don't consider myself like a singer in that sense. It's more just like a something that I do to add to the song, I guess, and try and like build the world a little deeper and give the world a bit more context with lyrics or like different melody ideas or that kind of thing. So yeah, but it was kind of like going to those nights sort of like was building my confidence, and then I was writing all these songs, and then I ended up kind of writing like what would be the first Velvet Trip EP from that. So
Velvet Trip and the 6 Moons?
6 Moon Skies.
6 Moon Skies.
Yeah.
What is the 6 Moon Skies?
It was like a concept album, or concept like EP. I kind of had this whole idea that like originally I wanted it to be like a comic, and it was like supposed to be like, I guess like Velvet Trip was like a character within this world.
Cool.
And like it was all kind of like different, like like there was 6 songs on the EP, and they were meant to be like 6 different moons, and like each one was a different world. And
I love this.
Character,
you're such a world builder.
The character was kind of like each one was like its own kind of story within each moon.
What'd you learn from that EP? Were you like, that was nice doing something conceptual, or?
Well, I don't know. It kind of just gave me like a direction, I think. But it was cool because I like the way that the band got put together, like in that early days, was like me kind of, I went to like a party and met this guy Singe who was like playing, it was like an outdoor jazz gig, and he was like a ripping keys player. And I was like, wow, like you're amazing. And then I remember just like filming him and taking videos of him and just absolutely frothing on him. And then I was working at Fleetwood Macchiato, like the, do you know the cafe in Erskineville? And lo and behold, this keys player comes in, and I was like, oh, hey man, like, I think I saw you playing at that party last night. And he was like, oh, were you the guy filming me?
Yes.
Were you the guy standing over filming me the whole night?
I'm your new #1 fan.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. Do you want to be in my band? And he's like, I mean, like, okay. And I was like, I'm going to come over and like play these songs for you. And like,
you're like, I don't want to hear no as an answer.
Yeah,
I'm going to make it
I was going to come over. And then I went to his place, and we had like this rogue jam, and like same for Nick and Clay. Like I kind of, like they were playing in this band called Nala, and I was a huge fan of their band. And I guess I kind of just like pulled the band together through seeing people play live, and it was really exciting. And we had like maybe 3 rehearsals, and then went into the studio and recorded the EP live. So the 6 Moon Skies EP is like all live takes. So like my vocals are the same as the guitar takes. Everything was like recorded in one take, completely live in honor of, I guess, that kind of like 60s, 70s style of production. So like if someone makes a mistake, then you've got to start again, basically.
That's really great in the sense of a lot of people when they want to release their first, they want to debut, and they're like, there has to be perfect. And they get really caught up in the it has to be perfect, it has to be perfect. And so they just prolong a release. Whereas you guys are like, all right, 3 rehearsals, we're done. Let's get it happening.
I think
Why did you want to pump it out so quickly?
Well, it was just more about like capturing the energy of the musicians and like that kind of like communication and that relationship between each other and what was happening. And I just really wanted it to feel like really raw and honest. And like a lot of the music that I was listening to at that time, like, I was like deeply obsessed and still am with Jimi Hendrix. I was like really like, very into like, Led Zeppelin and like classic 60s and 70s rock, The Doors, like all these artists. And, the energy on those recordings was very much live and had something that you can't quite put your finger on. But I wanted to kind of try to emulate that in some way or like bring that energy into the contemporary thing. And
totally.
Yeah. And it was like super like all independent, like still is like, I paid for everything. I like booked the studio. I did like all the, like all of the release stuff.
How were you funding that just through odd jobs here and there?
Yeah, just through acting and modeling. Like, and like working at the cafe, and like I worked at General Pants for a bit, and then like just random stuff. Like I was just trying to get money from all different places and just throwing it at this thing and like trying to figure it out. And like I had a friend, Kai, who's like a visual artist, and he was living in California, and I got him to do the artwork. And like I just kind of like had a bunch of friends and just sort of like
lean on the community.
Yeah, lean on the community and just try and like, I don't know. I sort of just figured like I had a bit of a turning point where I was like, well, I want to really practice and try and like see something through. So I just threw everything I had at this thing.
Yeah.
And I guess I've been doing that since and just trying
100%. Yeah, I think you are such a testament to like, if you want to make it happen, you will. And like anything you put your mind to, it's going to happen. Okay. You're going to make it work. Genuinely. I think you're a type of the person who's like, if there is a will, there is a way. I won't take no for an answer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything else to fall onto, I don't think, in the sense of like, didn't come from affluence. I don't have that kind of the opportunities to sort of shift and do other things. And I feel like this is something I'm really passionate about, and I really find it really important for me as a person to get my voice out. And also, maybe there's other kids or people that come from a similar situation that might they might realize that maybe they can do it as well. And I'm not trying to like be that for anyone, but yeah, I know that if I was, when I was growing up, there were people that inspired me and gave me that motivation. So I don't know. I think I'm just like, I just want to like do it for little Zepp. Yeah. Yeah.
Be the blueprint you never had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That's really special, Zepp.
Okay.
During this time when Velvet Trip was just starting out, was it true you're in Pacific Rim?
Yes.
You were on Pacific Rim?
I was in Pacific Rim too.
What was your role?
I was a worshipper.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You have such a random life.
Yeah.
So you're starting a band, you're on these big film sets as well.
Yeah, doing all sorts of stuff. That one was a crazy one because I was like so sure I didn't get that job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I've told you the story before.
No, you haven't told me the story before.
I used to go to Centennial Park and climb to the top of the trees there.
Your family in trees. I'm seeing it.
Like I'll go, there was one particular tree that me and my friends would climb called Medusa, like this big fig tree.
Did you name it that?
I think we collectively named it that because it had these big, beautiful vines that would hang down like Medusa's hair. And anyway, I was at the top of this tree and I got a message from my agent being like, hey, like, I just want to check that you're all good for the audition today, just checking in. And I'm at the top of this tree and I'm thinking, Yeah, I'm all good for it.
You're not.
I'm gonna just order an Uber real quick. So anyway, I climb out of this tree. I get down, I order my Uber, and I'm speeding off to this audition. And
do you have to know your lines and everything?
hang on, Ash.
Okay.
So I get there, and I'm in the waiting room downstairs, and I'm there for like 20 minutes, like half an hour, and I'm like, oh gosh, like, you know, kind of nervous, like haven't called my name yet. Eventually, someone comes downstairs and like, hey, is anyone in here Zeppelin? And I'm like, this is I. And they're like, we've been waiting for you in the other audition room. Like there's 2 different casting companies in the same building. We've been waiting for you upstairs. Like, you know, hop to it, boy.
You're not starting off on a strong foot.
Hop to it, boy. So I get up and I'm like, oh, like walking up the stairs, and she turns around. Oh, you don't have your script. You good with the lines? Yeah, I'm good with them. Can I just see, do you have a spare copy that I just want to check in and make sure? Didn't know there was a script.
Oh my God, this is literally living out my nightmare.
It is a bit of a nightmare thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had nightmares about this. Anyway, she gives me the script. It's a fat paragraph, and it's like, you know, a bunch of lines, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to get through this. So I'm just like, well, YOLO. So I get up there and I go in and just kind of like, I don't even remember what happened. I just went for it and just kind of did this audition, and then kind of like walked out and was just like, yeah, that was cooked, and I feel terrible and I can't believe I let that happen.
Yeah.
And then anyway, I get a call like 2 weeks later and I got the role. So
that is again, you just find yourself in situations that always work out. So
I don't know what that says. And that's probably
maybe
not
they
great.
liked how relaxed you were about it or something.
I must have been giving a very chill energy.
Must have been.
So yeah, I end up like on this like huge film set, shooting at Circular Quay or somewhere like that. And like, you know, it was like, there was like hundreds of extras, and like they were doing like CGI stuff with like, it was like a whole thing, like helicopter.
That was your
like,
first time on like a proper big budget set?
I did a Jackie Chan film called Bleeding Steel, like but like just as like an extra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not like a proper, you know. So I got to see like, you know, got to see some cool stuff.
That's sick.
But yeah, that was like my first like camera on me, like speaking, you know, doing thing. I get in a scuffle and like, yeah. But then the film came out, and I didn't make the cut in the editing. So it's like, you see me like getting a scuffle and a fight, and then that's it. But
damn it.
my lines didn't make it through, unfortunately.
Were you even in the credits?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm in the credits.
That's good. That's the main thing. At least
Worshipper.
That gets in the scuffle.
Oh yeah.
What did he worship?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you also saw internet fame. Your mum's, your dad was big, and you were in that world. I won't lie, and I feel so tapped out as an Australian. That was not in my algorithms growing up. Your mum's, your dad. And I have so many friends that have lived in that world. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a whole period. I mean, yeah, it kind of started out like me and my friend Luca and Kale and then Kai, and we're kind of just making skits. And yeah, they just went like crazy viral. Like,
yeah, this was like Facebook viral too.
Facebook,
back when,
YouTube, like pre-TikTok. Like it was very like super early.
It feels like maybe that group
days.
was one of the first. There was a lot of like short skit kind of things happening at the same time, but that was a group that felt cool.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about it was how like silly it was and how like accessible it was. Like we were just filming skits on an iPhone basically, and then like putting them up, like, and the ideas were super silly and like really kind of like makeshift, and like, you know, let's film a video of us auditioning for X Factor, or like let's film a video of us like, I don't know, just like super random like silly ideas. And it was a whole thing, and like, yeah, it was like a whole crazy period, and it blew up really quickly. And
did that change your life in a way?
It did, and it kind of warped my identity a little bit for a period, because it was like proper viral. Like at the time, like people would come up and like want to take photos all the time, and kind of like, you know, it was a whole thing. And I think like being, and I didn't really identify with that so much. I kind of really just wanted to play music, and like it was exciting and fun because I was doing stuff with my friends and like that was cool. But I think it kind of like being kind of like recognized for what felt like a silly thing or something that I didn't really particularly want to be recognized for. Kind of like it was like being famous for something that you weren't like passionate about.
Yeah.
And kind of being like,
that's not my thing.
That's not my thing. Like, oh, I'm also like playing music or like.
And then it makes the thing that you're actually passionate about feel fake. Or like, did you feel like you had to prove to your fans, no, I'm not doing this music thing as a joke? Like,
yeah,
I'm
kind of.
Actually very good and serious about this.
I don't know about the very good, but I was serious about it.
Mate, I reckon you're pretty good if you've been doing it since the age of 7 or whatever.
Yeah, but it sort of like shifted my my headspace a little bit, and then I had to really kind of like detach from that whole period and really try and just like focus on the music side of things. And
was there a moment that you're like, that was a penny drop, I can't do this, I gotta?
Yeah, I think we were kind of like filming this documentary, and anyway, I ended up hitchhiking from Sydney to Darwin, and I was in Darwin like kind of just reflecting on life, and like I was sort of like staying on a crocodile farm up in
just everything you say.
Yeah. Staying up on this.
So random.
Staying up at this crocodile farm for a bit, and like, you know, riding horses bareback and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So anyway, I was like there for a bit and I was thinking like, what am I doing? And I think I just finished Pacific Rim as well. So I had a little bit of money and I was like, what do I want to do? So then I flew to Bali and was like in Canggu for a bit and like skating and kind of like just sort of like contemplating like what I was doing. Like, do I want to do acting? Do I want to like do music? Like, and then I kind of, the crossroads was like, I really like the acting and like the modeling and all that kind of stuff. Was like, I'm really grateful for it, that it happened and like, you know, like, but it never filled my cup. And I always felt anxious and really insecure and like just not myself in those spaces. But when I played music, it was like an opportunity to kind of like share more of me, that felt more authentically myself and, you know, showing a side of me that I could stand in that felt actually, I felt proud of representing myself in that way. And I think after like all the internet kind of stuff, like it was quite surface and quite two-dimensional, and it was an opportunity for me to really kind of show who I was. So yeah, I decided I'd start practicing guitar more and writing more, and
Velvet Trip was the way.
Velvet Trip was the way. Yeah.
There's this big skate incident where you broke your hand.
Yeah. That
really messed around your career in music. Can you run me through that?
Yeah, it was just after the Velvet Trip EP came out. I was touring with Velvet Trip and Kimono kind of at a similar time, like playing heaps of shows. And then I sort of like, skating's always kind of like in and out of my life. Like I would sort of like hurt myself and then be like, I'm never skating again. And then like a couple of years later, I'd pick up the board and be like, oh, like this feels good. And then like, this feels really good. And then I'd fall down and break something. It was just this constant pattern.
Your dad's voice just ringing in the back of your head.
But like I went down to the skate park one day and I was like on tour and I was skating a bunch and I fell down and like I slapped my hand on the concrete and just completely screwed my hand like so bad to the point of, and like that weekend I had to go and play. I played 3 shows in a row with like a messed up hand and it was like so swollen and and I ended up having to do the whole run. Was it broken
or was it?
It was soft tissue and ligament damage.
Oh.
It's like fine.
How do you fix that in a hand?
Yeah, well, it was like years of rehab and like the hand specialists were like, we don't really know like what's going on and you might not be able to play guitar. And and I had this like weird kind of like what looked like a green dildo And I'd have to, Christina, can you pull that up? And it was like, I'd have to like hold it out of my car.
Get it up.
I'd have to hold it out of my car window sometimes driving to work and like shake.
No.
Shake this thing. And it was like
weighted.
And I'd like bend it and like do all this sort of stuff. Anyway, the green dildo helped and it actually healed my hand. And then like eventually it was like 10 minutes a day of guitar and then 10 minutes 3 times a day and then like slowly built it up. But at the same time, I needed to write music. So I was like, I wrote a whole record, which was Harmony Blooms on a MIDI keyboard. So I had to like teach myself to play keys and I was just like one-handed, straight into GarageBand, singing into the laptop.
Wow.
And then wrote a record and then that was the next era.
Yeah, Harmony Blooms is around the time that I discovered you. Actually, it was at the Enmore Parcels gig when you opened for Parcels.
True.
And that was the first time I saw you live. And I'd never heard of you at that point. Really? That's because I just moved to Sydney from Brisbane, I think.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, who is this guy that's having these long, luscious locks, like beautifully done, blonde bits. And I was like, this is like such an enigma. But your music was just phenomenal.
Thank you,
and it was
Ash.
such a performance. And then I started to think, that's when I was like, oh, I got to play these guys on the radio. They're amazing.
Oh, thank
and that
you.
was pre-Harmony Blooms. I think that was like around when you just dropped like Silly Boy maybe, or
I think
maybe
we just dropped It's Only Human.
It's Only Human, yeah.
That was the first song to get played on radio and it was by you. So I'm so grateful. I feel like you are the reason that we got a lot of support from that point on. So it is on record. I'm very grateful for you, Ash.
I love good people who make good music.
Thank you.
No, that Harmony Blooms era was just beautiful and that album was like so well thought out, I thought, as a concept from the beginning to the end. I think that was a very big cement of like Velvet Trip are taking this shit seriously and you got to look at them.
Thank you.
Did that feel like that for you?
Yeah, I think it was like a shift in, like I was so focused on like improvisation and guitar shredding and that kind of thing at the time. And when Harmony Blooms was beginning to come into fruition, I wanted to focus on like melody and like, because I couldn't play guitar. It was more about like my voice and learning how to kind of like write songs in a way that was a bit more direct and less jammy and more kind of like structured. So yeah, it was like a completely stylistic change that came out of necessity because I couldn't play guitar. And like at the time,
everything happens for a reason kind of thing.
Everything happens for a reason. I was in Berlin at the time staying with Jules. Actually, they were working on Parcels are doing live volume 1. And I was there with my bung hand, just kind of like deeply inspired and like thinking about like these beautiful like vocal harmonies and like how different with synthesizers. And it's kind of just like, seeing them do their thing. And then my hand restraint just kind of like really opened my mind to like a whole different sort of
the world can be so much bigger.
Yeah, the world was broadened from that. So
incredible.
Yeah.
And then, so Harmony Blooms, that was great. But then I think this recent album, Glimmers Continued, it's Glimmers EP, but then you've expanded on it with Glimmers Continued. I think that's really what's gotten you the solidified Velvet Trip sound. There's really big moments on it, but this is the one that got you to open for Joe,
True.
So many big moments have come from this. When you compare Glimmers Continued and Harmony Blooms, how do you think that you sit now?
I think again, it's just like distilling the thing and just trying to refine, like what my voice is as a songwriter and what I'm trying to do. And like,
what are you trying to do with this one?
With this one?
Yeah.
I think I was trying to be more direct and trying to be a little bit more cut and dry with my own experiences and like particularly like, around the songwriting and the lyrics. I really speak about things that are quite personal to me and things that I've been experiencing, like over, whatever window of time. And I think with Harmony Blooms and Six Spoon Skies, I sort of shrouded a lot of things in metaphor and kind of depersonalized it a little bit. Whereas like Glimmers Continued feels a little bit more directly myself. I'm trying to not shy away from it and stand tall in it a little bit more.
It's such a double-edged sword because clearly people are resonating more with this more personal side of you, but then you're having to sacrifice that at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's just like terrifying to be perceived just in general.
Yeah.
Like I think like having a career or like, you know, like, or just like making art, whatever form that is, and putting yourself out into the public is like absolutely terrifying because you're being perceived by people. Everyone has their own idea of like what a song's about or who you are or like, you know, maybe what you've said like in an interview or what you've done, and it's like so often you're just in free flow and like, and music as well is so personal and everyone has their own interpretation of it. So it's like, it can be so scary to like to put yourself out there. And I just like, I wig out every time I release something. And this was like very personal to me, this record. So people resonating with it is like, I'm grateful for it because that's like why I do it. But at the same time, like, whoa, so scary.
Yeah, like releasing a baby into the world and you're like, oh, let's see what happens. Do you read the reviews that people write of your work?
No. Like I feel like like maybe if it was like a meaty review, but like comments are like pretty like, you know, I remember someone commented on the music video for Tell Me Why, and their comments like, and the winner for like worst fitting jeans goes to cool song though. So I'm like, thanks, man.
You want to be me. You want to be me.
Yeah, but you always find the like, you know, the comment or the review that's gonna like, you know, cut the most.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You're always looking for the worst review.
And it just rings through the back of the brain. But even like with the more meaty reviews, I can imagine reading them and be like, oh, that's not how I wanted it to be taken. Or they're putting you know, Zeppelin, he's a this, he's that, he's this, and you're now getting labeled with things that you perhaps didn't even think about in yourself. Yeah. Does that ever happen to you as an artist? Yeah, I mean, people are totally entitled to build whatever narrative or whatever idea of a thing is. Like, you know, they can, that's kind of the beauty of it in a way is like, you know, people hear a song and it becomes their own. And once you finish it, like, yeah, they're personal to me and they mean something to me. But then now they mean something to everyone else. And that's not up to me to dictate what that song represents or what their interpretation is. So at the same, at one side of the coin, it's kind of like, oh, that's not what I mean. But at the other side of the coin, it's like, well, that's okay if that's what you think. Yeah. Because it's yours now. Art is subjective. Yeah. Yeah. You can take it and run with it. Totally. So where do you want to take Velvet Trip? Just like probably global domination. Yeah. Just like a little, I don't know, nothing too big. Nothing, just a little bit of global dom. New phrase. Yeah. We could do that one. No, I don't know. Like I think like, to be honest, like, and it might sound like super corny, but I'm just so grateful to do it. Like, I don't really, if I have the opportunity to continue doing this and I can connect with more people and I can travel and find more inspiration and be experience rich, that's the whole point of what I'm doing. Like, I'm really, the idea of going overseas and like, I'm about to do my first international tour. I'm really excited, and that's like a childhood dream for me to get to do that with Velvet Trip. Yeah. So yeah, just like to have those opportunities and to be able to connect with more people is really where I want to see things head. That's about it. You know what? It's a high bar and not a low bar at the same time, where you're like, I'm really happy with what I'm doing now. Well, it's not that I'm like, this is what I'm doing and like, yeah. It's like, I'm like, no, like, I'm like, I have so much to learn. I want to write better songs. I absolutely, my stomach is not full in any means about like my artistic growth. Like there's so much to do. I am absolutely not there. But I mean, in the sense of being content with the fact that I am not working at Subway anymore. I'm not like hitchhiking around doing these things. Like the fact that I have like a somewhat kind of like self-determination through something that's really important and I'm passionate about to me is awesome. So that's what I more mean. Not like, you know. Yeah. Oh, I get you. I just want to clear that up. I love the refrain. What I'm deducing is that little Zeppelin would be proud of you though. That's what he keeps coming back to.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Well, Zeppelin, this has been really nice.
Thanks, Ash.
I've loved the yarn, and I feel like there are so many more stories in there. I haven't even gotten to speak to you about Berghain.
Oh.
But we'll have to save that for another episode.
Yeah.
But this has been really beautiful.
Thank you so much, Ash. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you. You're a wonderful person. And thank you for all of your support over the years.
Of course. May it continue.
Thanks.